The Vellfire has always held a special place in my heart, and that's not just because I'm a fan of Toyota cars in general. You see, this is one of the first few cars I got to review, or I had the privilege to review back in the day. Now, I still distinctly remember going around Toyota's looped course at their Bidadi plant and realizing that Toyota has made a vehicle or a people carrier for the ultra wealthy. Now, it's for people who want to go from point A to point B in ultimate luxury, and they don't mind having a Toyota badge. Now, Toyota has a fairly good handle on how to make good MPVs or people carriers like I mentioned earlier. Just take the Qualis or the Innova for consideration, and then you'll realize that the Vellfire is in pretty good company. But what is the Vellfire all about, and what's different with this all-new model? Now, I say all-new model, but this car is actually 2 years old. But let me take you through all the exterior changes that it gets from the previous model that was sold here. Now, at the front, you'll notice that it's got a massive front grille, and that is reminiscent of Toyota's bigger SUVs, namely the Land Cruiser. Now, you also get a different DRL and headlamp setup. It's a lot closer than before, and you get this large air dams just above the fog lamps. At the front, it looks imposing like it did before, but what about the sides? And around the sides, you'll see 19-inch wheels that get a black and silver finish. Now, the older one got 17-inch wheels, but with a completely silver finish. Around the B-pillar, you'll see a Z element, which again is new to this particular model. But apart from that, it looks pretty much the same. A simple yet classy design. And at the rear, you'll find that the Toyota logo is a little different. The older one had a sort of bluish color to it. And the tail lamps are also different. You had a clear sort of setup, a clear housing for them. This one gets normal colored housing. And you also get blinkers that are now vertically mounted instead of horizontally. Under this spoiler, you'll find the housing for the rear wiper and of course a high stop lamp. Now, since this is the executive lounge, let's get into the back seat, which is the business end of the Toyota Vellfire. Now, first, let's tackle all the things that have changed here in the newer Vellfire. First is, of course, you get a screen up here in the front. You also get this super long overhead console, as Toyota calls it, which houses all the functions that you need. You've got the AC vent functions here, the AC control functions here. You've got the roof shade control, wherein you can just sort of toggle a switch here and the roof shade moves left to right. Also, you get 2 individual roof shades, which is awesome. You also get an option to put your side shades down and up for both this mirror and the one behind you as well. And of course, you get the controls for the mirror itself, as you can see. And of course, you get an option here to open and close the door automatically. Now, apart from that, Toyota have also improved the space both in the second row of seats and in the third row as well. You also get these 2 very phone-like screens that help you control almost everything you want. Just swipe up and you'll get to control audio, your climate, the lights, the shade, the seats, everything that you want. And of course, smart comfort as well, which allows you to initiate the massage functions on this seat and the one on your left as well. Now, when you want to control the seat functions itself, all you have to do is head over here. Now, this is a bit of an issue because if you are sitting and if you're a slightly larger gentleman or woman, this might be a bit of a reach on the inside here. You can control the ventilation and of course the heating from right here and the seat functions at a whole. So you have memory seats here as well. Now, the console also houses larger AC vents, which are different from the older models. But I want to talk about space here, storage space in specific. Now, you get a lot of cubby holes. You get a sunshade or sunglasses holder right here. You also get one at the back for the third row passengers. You also have plenty of space here. You can keep a cup here. You can keep a cup here as well. You can keep your phone here as well. And you get a phone or cup holder right here as well. Now, on top of that, you also get a nice table right here. You can keep, it isn't too large, but you can keep a few things here, things that might be important. And this doubles up with a mirror here as well, and plenty of storage stuff here as well. Now you can just fold this back here in easily, very much like a flight or an aircraft. Now the cubby hole or the storage space saga continues. You've got one right here near your feet, quite small. I don't know what you'll keep here, but it's there whenever you need it. You also have space here to keep your phone, your laptop, your iPad, or anything else that you may need. You also have a little bit of space over here and an HDMI port for the screen up here. You've also got this handy little storage space where you can keep your magazines or your iPad. It's large enough to accommodate that, and that again is a nice touch. And last but not least, you get a cup holder here as well. And before I forget, you also get this nice holding area for you to get in and out of and hold quite firmly. You also have a nice little touch here with a 4 kg luggage hook. On the whole, thanks to these powered Ottoman seats, there's plenty of spaces to store stuff, and the luxurious feeling that you get. I think the Vellfire sort of succeeds in its original promise of being a people carrier for the ultra wealthy. Even the third row seating experience is quite comfortable, and 3 decently sized adults do have enough headroom and leg space. But I know that most people who do end up buying the Vellfire won't drive it, but let's check out what the driving experience is like. Let's talk about changes first. It gets an all new dashboard layout, which looks a lot more simpler, a lot more cleaner, a lot more better to my eye. You've got a 14-inch touchscreen infotainment system which sits smack dab in the middle, looks quite nice. You've got these horizontally mounted AC vents. They were vertically mounted in the older Vellfire. Apart from that, you also get these nice little cup holders on each side, which sit right in front of the AC vent, cooling it on the go. Apart from that, you also get a new steering wheel design, which looks better than before, but the older one wasn't too bad either. And of course, you get a digital instrument console, as is the case with most Toyotas and Lexus models of today. You also get a slightly different gear selector. You got that gated one with the steps earlier. Now it's a lot more simpler, a lot smaller, a lot more easier to deal with. Now, as far as the engine is concerned, you get the 2.5 litre petrol hybrid motor, and it's mated to an eCVT gearbox. Now, the latest Vellfire sits on Toyota's TNGA-K platform, which is 50% better in terms of rigidity, making the ride comfort a lot better than the older version. And you can feel that on the move. Now, again, like I said, a lot of people who own this car won't be driving it, but if they do find themselves in on the occasion of driving it, well, it isn't too bad an experience. The power delivery is smooth as long as you're not thrashing the throttle. Now the brakes, because this car is so large, aren't really up to the mark, and bringing it to a stop can be a little taxing. You also get the usual Toyota knickknacks like the famous center console, which opens from both sides. I love it, I always have, and I will continue to love it simply because of its lovely engineering. There are also a little confusing bits like pedal shifters, which I'm not really sure what application they have on a car like this, but they're there whenever you need them. Now, another thing that I find particularly interesting in the dashboard here is the amount of space that you have from the steering wheel to the front windshield. You've got this sort of angled windshield, which, there's humongous amount of space in front of you. And driving this, I'm sorry to say this, does feel like you're driving a big van. Now, some people do appreciate that feeling, and I'm one of them. Now, for those looking for a more SUV-ish stance, this might not be exactly to their liking. Overall, a nice, easy, smooth experience, one that you won't mind taking on yourself and will be very happy with your chauffeur taking it at all times. Since the Vellfire comes with Toyota's strong hybrid petrol motor, the switching between EV and petrol modes is quite seamless and happens depending upon the driving style. In fact, it has a fuel efficiency figure of 19.28 kmpl, which is mighty impressive given its size and heft. In terms of safety, it gets 6 airbags, blind spot monitor, stop hold function, ABS with EBD and brake assist, adaptive cruise control, and a whole lot more. But it doesn't get ADAS. It's really hard to fault a car that doesn't really have any rivals in its truest sense. Sure, there is the Lexus LM, which is almost double the cost. There's also the Kia Carnival, which costs about half as much, but doesn't quite have the oomph of the Vellfire. I think this car is for that discerning customer that understands the value proposition of a Toyota and wants a hassle-free experience. Sure, it does have its shortcomings and it doesn't quite have the brand value of a Lexus or other German luxury brands, but it gets the job done with utmost comfort. In its latest avatar, it is a much improved product, and for anyone who already owns a Vellfire, well, this will be a no-brainer. In fact, anyone who owns an Innova and wants to upgrade, this is the answer right here.